Hey there, I'm Angela Sharp, and welcome to the Daily Mix. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. We had a lot going on here in St. Louis, right? We had Soulard, Mardi Gras going on. We also had the Super Bowl. I know most of the people who work here were very excited about the Chiefs win, so hopefully you're in that group, because then you probably thought it was a wonderful game. I actually like to watch the commercials. And I gotta tell you, this year's commercials were kind of lackluster, if you ask me. There wasn't anything super great. Now, I love Jelly Roll. So the Uber Eats commercial where he's looking in the mirror and he's like, who doodled on my face? They won't come off. I thought that was really funny, but I'm pretty biased because I love him so much. But hopefully you enjoyed your party or sitting at home. I know some people who don't even watch the Super Bowl, and I wonder what their day at work is like when they go to work on Monday morning. Like, what do you talk about? Because I feel like everyone else watches the Super Bowl. I am really, really excited about my guest today that we're gonna have here on the show. Now, you know her. She woke up with you every morning on Fox 2 News, but she retired for like half a second and then decided to get a podcast. I have Randi Naughton on the show today. She's gonna tell us what she's doing now, because apparently you can't keep a good woman down. She had to get back to work. So let's get started on today's Daily Mix. Black Rep's 47th season continues this week with the opening of Fly. This one-person dramatic company centers around an African-American man who believes he'll have the power to fly on a very special night. Now, as he prepares himself on a Brooklyn rooftop, he shares the comic, dramatic, and tragic experiences that have pushed him to the edge of reality. Fly will be on stage at the Hockner Studio Theater at WashU, February 14th through March 10th. Visit theblackrep.org for tickets and more information. Now, you can throw yourself into the creative problem-solving world of engineering at the Science Center's next Sci Fest. The Engineering Expo will feature all kinds of hands-on experience and interactive displays. More than 200 individuals with different STEM backgrounds will be on hand during the expo. Join them to build circus and gliders, design a solar sail. Hey, you can even drive a robot and more. The Engineering Expo is free and will take place throughout the Science Center on Saturday, February 24th from 9:30 to 4:30. For more information, visit slsc.org. Now, you can join the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra and the In Unison Chorus for Lift Every Voice, a one-of-a-kind celebration of Black History Month featuring gospel and R&B singer B.B. Winans. Now, in its 30th year, the In Unison Chorus that is led by Kevin Macbeth and is dedicated to the performance and preservation of Black American musical expression. Lift Every Voice will take place Friday, February 23rd at Steeple Theater. For tickets and more information, go to slso.org. Now, you can also celebrate Black History Month with the African American Heritage Celebration at St. Louis City Hall. This event is free and open to the public and will feature an award ceremony and proclamation honoring 3 African American community leaders. They're going to have live entertainment, refreshments, and more. This is the first in a series of cultural heritage celebrations to be held at City Hall this year. The African American Heritage Celebration will take place in the Rotunda on Wednesday, February 28th from 6 to 8. For more information, visit the Recorder of Deeds Facebook page. Now, generations of music fans grew up with KSHE 95's John Ulett, and while he's one of the most well-known voices in St. Louis, he's always been private off-air. That is until now. Life, Death, and Other Scary Things, an evening with KSHE 95's John Ulett will be a night to remember with deep conversations, lighthearted fun, and of course, celebrity appearances. This is all in a unique effort to really get to know and understand the U-Man. John and his friends will appear in front of a live audience on Thursday, February 29th at the Sheldon Concert Hall. You can learn more by visiting thesheldon.org or KSHE95.com. I actually get the privilege to work with the U-Man as he does all the voice you hear in Busch Stadium, and I also work there. And he is so fun, so nice, and so down to earth. I bet that's gonna be a lot of fun, and I bet you're gonna spend a lot of time laughing. Now that would be a great way to kind of close out February, and a great way to kick off March is with an evening of fabulous music from the St. Louis Philharmonic Orchestra. Voices of Glory will feature a special collaboration of the choirs of Lindenwood University and St. Charles Community College, performing a combination of music from the US, France, Czech Republic, and Germany. Voices of Glory will take place Friday, March 1st at Skip Vera Center for the Arts at Chaminade. For tickets and more information, go to stlphilharmonic.org. Now, a new movie celebrating the life and music of Bob Marley and the powerful story and journey behind the icon's music is set to hit theaters this month. Here's a sneak peek at Bob Marley, One Love.
Won't you help to sing these songs of freedom? 'Cause all I ever have, redemption songs.
When you write that?
All my life. Don't let them fool you.
That's a hit.
Oh, no.
Reggae is the people music.
You know you're a superstar.
I am a superstar. You can't separate the music and the message. You see, reggae music come to unify the people.
Not everyone likes what you're saying. For your own safety, you need to stop.
On December 3rd, 1976, would-be assassins invaded Bob Marley's home and attempted to take the life of the singer, his wife, and
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that thing. Cause every little thing gonna be alright. You like that one?
Yeah.
There's a war going on. Oh, I can't bring peace. I can't even get peace for myself.
Rise up this morning, smile with the rising sun. Three little birds, it's by my doorstep,
Sometimes
singing.
the messenger has to become the message.
About a thing,
Bob, I know it's dangerous,
every little thing, gonna be alright.
but you're the only one who can unite the people.
You ready, Bob?
No guns can stop this message. I want the world to change. And that time is now.
This is my message to you.
I feel like there's a lot about him I didn't know that I'm gonna have to watch that movie to find out. But I am so excited because I'm now joined by Randy Naughton. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for asking me. This is awesome.
This
Thanks.
is so great. So I used to visit you when you were on
Yes.
Fox 2
Yes.
many, many times when I was with the Blues.
Right.
And you were always so welcoming and so nice. So I'm so happy to have
And
you
you're
back.
doing the same for me, so I appreciate
Oh, well,
it.
good. Well, let's talk about this because we all know that you retired and everybody
Yes.
said goodbye to you, but you could be retired.
Well, I retired from the job I was doing. Let's put
Okay.
it that way.
Okay, fair.
30 years on the air at Fox 2, 10 of them doing sports, 20-something doing the morning show. I like to keep busy, and I'm not one of these people who sit around and, I'm gonna go to the spa all day, and I like to be busy. I like to be creative. I'm a photographer. I take nature photos. I like to keep busy, and I decided, you know what? I'm going to do something really original that nobody's doing, like a podcast.
Like a podcast.
Like a podcast.
But your podcast is different.
It is different. I don't really kind of pigeonhole myself into one subject matter. It's called Interesting Conversation. Well, first of all, it's called More to Say with Randy Notton, because I got more to say, apparently. And Interesting Conversations with Interesting People. So I'm going to be talking with, I have already spoken with sports figures and celebrities, and I'll be speaking just people who have really cool stories to tell. When you're on the air on TV, on local television, you have that little tiny 3-minute window to get everything in, and that's, we're looking at some of the guests right now. You have a teeny tiny window to get all the info in.
Right.
Here's the event, here's the website, okay. And sometimes your guest doesn't really understand that.
Give you all you need in that short amount of time.
So I said, you know what? I want to do this and have a conversation, not just a quick little interview to hit all the talking points. So we let it breathe. We kind of let it go places. So there are some surprises. And it just feels really good to actually have, instead of an interview, it's more of a conversation.
Just more like hanging out with a friend via Zoom mostly. But yeah, but you're hanging out with a friend and it makes it fun.
Yeah.
Well, let's kind of go back to your career, because you had 30 years in St. Louis, which is so impressive. But you started out in sports, which I did not realize.
Yes, I started, prior to even coming to St. Louis, I worked in the Buffalo, New York market. I was in radio and television there as well. Worked in the newsroom, entertainment reporter, on radio, overnight DJ, you name it. I did all that. That's where I met my husband. I'm a native Western New Yorker. Oh, okay. Born in Niagara Falls. How many people do you know?
Wow.
How many people do you know were born in Niagara Falls?
There you go.
So, he was a baseball player, played for the AAA Cleveland Indians, which were the Buffalo Bisons. And, we've been married now, get it right, 35 years.
Wow.
So we decided to come back to St. Louis because this is where his family is. And I said, well, I'll just get a job here. So started in radio here. I was on Clue, KMOX, Y98. I worked kind of everywhere. And then in 92, I was... started working at Fox 2, and then in 94 there was something called the Olympic Festival here, which is always a prelude to the actual Olympic Games. And I realized at the point, it's like, you might need some extra help. I love sports, so I went and knocked on the news director's door, and I said, hey, I like sports. You need another reporter. Can I be? He goes, have you ever reported on sports before? I said, no, I'm a fan. I can see what's happening, and I can tell people what is up. And that's how I ended up getting the sports gig.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, so I spent 9 years doing sports in St. Louis, the Mark McGuire era, the Brett Hull era, the Wayne Gretzky era, the Super Bowls, all the cool stuff that went with it over those years. And then I transitioned to the morning show, I think late 99, and then I've been there ever since.
Ever since. And what time were you getting up to go into that job?
1:30, 1:45, and that was
so early.
For 23 years.
It's so early.
And I'm still getting up at that time.
Which is crazy to me.
No alarm clock.
There's no reason, and you're still doing it.
I know, and it's like, go back to sleep, woman. You do not have to get up, so.
Your body just got really used to it.
Absolutely, that's what happens.
Over your course at Fox 2, was there one or a couple of interviews that really stand out to you that really, like, you were really excited about?
Well, yeah, we had Dan Aykroyd when he was launching his, was it tequila brand in the Skull bottle?
The Skull, yeah.
He was in there. We had politicians. I interviewed President Jimmy Carter, and this was in the heyday of. You're gonna love this. This is in the heyday of American Idol, and I used to go back and forth to LA to cover that. And then I'm like, okay, who are you picking to win Idol? And everyone's like, you just ask a president that. I'm like, he's also a person.
He's a real person. Yeah.
But he goes, I don't really watch that. So that was, the Reverend Jesse Jackson, Madeleine Albright, who was Secretary of State, some political figures, lots of big stars. David Brenner, just so
many people.
But the most memorable day on the air, obviously was 9/11 because we were live.
Oh,
and
you were live.
we went live to New York and said, "Oh, something's going on," and then we saw the other plane hit, and we were there. We were obviously there for a long time.
Right.
And with my dad being a firefighter, that kind of affected me a lot, especially
Yes.
when all the other tragedies came afterwards. And John Pertzborn, my partner, put his hand on my arm and said, "You're good. Settle down. We got this." And we did.
Oh my gosh.
And I still can't look at any of the video from that day.
Well, I didn't even think about you being on air.
Yeah, we were there. Yeah.
Because you train for a lot of stuff, you know,
Yeah.
going through media, but that is not something you
No.
can ever really prepare for.
Well, I think one thing John Pertzborn and I did very well, and our news director at Fox 2 always told us, he and I could ad lib anything. Like, oh, there's an accident on 40. Oh, look at the emergency vehicles in the right lane.
Right.
We could ad lib anything. So I think that's something he and I did very, very
Yes.
well together. We worked off each other. He kind of knew what I was going to say. I kind of knew when to be quiet and let him pick it up. And as far as being great teammates, I think John and I really were great teammates. And when you say work wife, work husband,
That was it.
Absolutely. Because, you know, we didn't always get along, and we'd snicker at each other.
Oh,
and
for sure.
Yap at each other. And, you know, guess what? You need to be back on the air tomorrow, so get over it.
So get over
Yes.
it. Well, you've kind of taken that ad lib then into this podcast because I'm assuming you probably have some things you want to cover, but for the most part, it's just an open dialogue.
It's an open dialogue, right. I mean, if somebody has something to talk about, like Bob Costas, I wanted to ask him specifically, how has social media changed the sports journalism landscape? And he was great. I mean, it was we're only supposed to go 20 minutes to a half an hour. Yeah. He went 44 minutes. I'm like, okay, you go off, Bob Costas.
Right.
You keep talking for 40.
Keep telling me
I'm
the
good.
things.
And, you know, Alan Hunter, one of the original MTV VJs, Norbert Leo Butts, who's a St. Louisan, two-time Tony Award winner on Broadway, great guy, revealed to me that he's going to be playing former Patriots head coach Bill Belichick in a movie.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, really? So he got to hang out with him, and we talked about that. And I just the other day, which is going to be scheduled for release, talked to, you remember Todd Newton?
The name sounds familiar.
Todd Newton. He was a on-air personality here in St. Louis, Rick Idle.
Oh, okay.
And now he hosts The Price is Right Live. And he was on the Game Show Network, no whammies, no whammies.
That's okay. That's
him and I go
right.
way back, and we had a great time talking the other day. So some of the conversations are going to be more interesting. Some are going to be more somber. Some are going to be goofy and fun, and some are going to be kind of like reality's going to hit you between the eyes. So every episode's going to be different, which is what I want.
I kind of like that. You don't have necessarily one thing you're doing. Now, are you pulling all these people from your experience so that you got to meet so many people?
Oh, yeah. I still got the Rolodex going. Absolutely. And Rolodex, for those who don't know, it's a thing where you used to keep phone numbers. So, yeah, I tap into my contacts and people I know and do my best to kind of get them on and have a fun, nice time with them. Now, not every interview is great. And whether they see the light of day, we'll see. But guess what? I get to decide that now, which is great.
Absolutely. You're in charge. You don't. Nobody's telling you what to do, and you can do it all on your own time.
I'm a one-man band. I'm doing it all, which I like. So, you know, and I still have time to cook like I like and hang out with my dogs and hang out with my family.
Rescue ponies.
I did. I rescued a mini horse. He's so cute.
So that's you are doing other more fun things in the retirement, but you did stay busy, and you also have a voiceover.
Yes, I have a voiceover and narration company, which I've had for decades, and you know, I lend my voice to phone systems and those awful things that you're mandated to do at work sometime. You know, the sexual harassment narration.
Okay.
Click next. I do a lot.
So you're click next.
I do a lot of those. Sorry. Commercials, like I said, phone systems, award shows. You know.
So even though you're not waking up with us in the morning, you're still with everybody. Yeah. And now even farther, because podcast goes wherever you.
Yeah, it does. It does. Podcast. It's on every streaming platform that you can get it. It's Spotify, Apple, iTunes. It's pretty much everywhere. And I'm learning all this as I go along because, I never was the technical person. I was always the creative person and get in front of the camera and talk. But now I'm kind of learning how to do it all with the help of some really great people. And I'm like, okay, I got this. Nervous. I'm a little bit intimidated by
Are you?
Little intimidated
Okay.
by technology, I
Yeah.
will say, because,
Okay.
I don't know how half of it works, but I'm learning, which is also fun too.
Well, let's talk about where people can follow you on these social media channels since technology is so much your thing. Let's
Yeah.
talk about where they can find you, where they
I'm
can follow
all over
along.
Twitter. X.
Right.
Now X. It's just at Randy Notton. I'm on Instagram, Randy Notton. I'm on Facebook, Randy Notton. Threads, everywhere.
I'm not even on the threads yet.
That's easy. It just because
okay.
it connects to Insta.
Okay.
They're the same company. So
Oh, okay, so
yeah,
that's-
all the stuff is right there. So boom.
Right
you
there
go.
on your
You
screen.
can
Follow along.
and I'll post my nature photos because I love to take photos. I just took a trip to Washington D.C. I did a little 1-minute video of that. Goofy stuff about sports. It's not all podcast. It's me and my wiseacre personality too.
We love that. Well, do you have any advice for anybody who might be sitting at home going, you know what I would love? I would love a career as long as you have had on television and then moving into podcast. Do you have any advice for them?
I do. In fact, I've mentored many young reporters, journalists, announcers, hosts. And the thing is, they say, well, I want to be on TV, but the radio station is saying they want me to do the news overnight. I said, say yes to everything until they give you a reason to say no. Get that experience, because it's all good.
Because it's always good.
It's all good.
It's all good. I like to hear that.
Yes.
Well, let's put all that information up again one more time. Where can I get your podcast?
It's everywhere you're streaming, no matter where. Apple, Spotify, iTunes, you name it, it's all over
And
the
that's
place.
More to Say.
More to Say with Randy Naughton, because I got more to say. And you see that microphone I'm leaning on right there? That is an actual vintage microphone, and it really works, and it's super cool.
Oh, that's so cool.
It's super cool. So
What a great gift.
my husband gave me that for a gift, and I'm like, I'm going to use that. It's just neat.
He seems like a good guy.
He is a good guy.
He got a good one. Definitely follow Randy on all her social media and then check out that podcast, More to Say. Thank you so much.
Thank you for
joining us
having
today.
me. This was great.
So happy to have you here. Now, don't forget, after you follow her, you can follow us on Facebook, YouTube, X, and Instagram. You can always drop us a line and let us know what you want us to cover at STL TV channel or stltv.net. That's going to do it for me. We keep it right here at STL TV and Experience St. Louis. See ya.